Marvel effed around and confirmed Peggy Carter, Captain Britain, Maria Rambeau, Captain Marvel, and shit, animated X-Men series Professor X in a post and delete on YouTube. And bruh, at the same time, we have a full description for the first 20 minutes of the Multiverse of Madness from CinemaCon. We are talking about it all right here. So spoiler warning for all of my brothers and sisters. What's up? I'm your Nerd Master Cunch with Normies and Nerds, where we give you all the latest MCU nerdy and blurdy news. Let's get into it. Started off with the post and delete trailer that has Peggy Carter, Maria Rambeau, and Professor X in it. Let's get it. So to start off with Peggy Carter, I do believe that she is from the What If universe. And I think the jetpack on her back kind of gives it away, as it resembles the tech that Howard Stark was using back in that series. And much like the MCU counterpart that we have with Steve Rogers, Peggy Carter did end up getting sucked forward in time to the Avengers era, where she lived out her time there. But I would say that they likely stick to the same type of storyline, to where she finishes out her time in this timeline, and then after the events of Avengers Endgame or something like that, she goes back and lives her life with Steve Rogers and possibly takes up the mantle as Captain Britain again, as to why we see her with this new jetpack tech, which likely comes from Howard Stark. So it's dope to see them make that connection, and I think that is clear that this could be the Peggy Carter from the What If series, and that could have bigger implications as to who is putting together this multiversal Illuminati. Now on to Maria Rambeau. So forget all of those rumors that people were thinking that it was Kang or whatever. No, this is Maria Rambeau, and honestly, she looking just as good as her daughter Monica. Hopefully I really don't sound creepy, but bruh, we got a curvy, vivacious looking Captain Marvel here. I'm already in love with this Captain Marvel. I can't wait to see how she's portrayed. And I'm glad that she's getting her opportunity to have her spotlight, because she was that one character in Captain Marvel who didn't get superpowers, and it's like, it sucks when you're that one that's so close to getting the powers and then somebody else, and then turn around and her daughter gets similar powers herself as Photon. So I am very excited to see how she shapes up into this, and who knows, maybe she could come into play into the Marvels, into the to the Captain Marvel 2. Maybe there's a way that she could come into play in that movie, which would be a very emotional moment for Monica Rambeau. But I call that a long shot. But regardless, I think this fight that is going to be going on here between Wanda and this Captain Marvel variant will be epic. Now, last we have the man, the myth, the legend himself, Professor X, in the yellow wheelchair, which is much like what we see in the animated X-Men series. Bruh, let's effing go. Are they going to connect this? Are they bringing that X-Men series to live action with this appearance? If so, again, another dope way how they're really weaving in this multiverse and connecting it, and also a way to honor that without maybe kind of trying to drudge their way into what we got with the X-Men series from Fox. That could be a good way to leave the X-Men series from Fox alone. Leave it as the masterpiece that it is, unless you cut off mutants, cut off Apocalypse, but leave it to where we know and love it as to be, and let's leave it at that, but still be able to reap the benefits of those cameos by bringing in that character, Professor X, from that universe. I think that would be absolutely epic and amazing, and I can't wait to see it. Now, to really talk about what's going on here, we've seen shots of Wanda fighting Captain Marvel, and we also see shots of Wanda fighting Captain Britain, right? I think she's going to be taking on the whole entire Illuminati, all of the Doom bots that are in there, more cameos than we have even heard about yet, more cameos than the Illuminati. I think Wanda is really about to obliterate everybody that comes up her way, and really that is a good way to just show how powerful she is. Really, I don't think we've seen a character that has been that powerful in the MCU that is able to take on that many superheroes at one time. And to see Wanda really reach that level of what we know to be an Omega level of a being would be absolutely beautiful to see on screen, and I think it'd be a masterpiece, as she will dismantle the Illuminati. I mean, we've already seen shots of her dismantling an Ultron bot and being very gruesome with it. So I can see her using that same type of energy against the Illuminati. Even though we may love some of these characters, I think it would be a worthy sacrifice to see these moments here and to see Wanda absolutely decimate them to show her power and will. All right, so now that we have that out the way, I do have to say spoiler warning, because we are going to be getting into the first 20 minutes of this film that was shown at CinemaCon 2022. While the video was not out, the description of it is, and is very, very detailed. So your boy has to get into it. So if you're down with those spoilers and down to get that, I promise you, it's not that big of a spoiler. It's a lot of things that we've seen in the trailer. So if you're down with it, Stick around and let's get it. By the way, drop a sub while you're at it. Now, reading this description from Gizmodo.com, and they describe the scene as this. The film opens in the middle of a massive action set piece. A ponytailed multiverse Doctor Strange and America Chavez are running and jumping through a mysterious purple world with debris everywhere. We've seen it in the trailers. They've also been chased by a stringy demon, not unlike the bad guys from The Edge of Tomorrow. Strange and Chavez try to freeze it, but it's only temporary distraction, and Strange warns America that they can't let the demon steal her powers. Duo try to get to a special platform with a magical book. They run and jump over the debris like a video game, but the demon catches up and stabs Strange. Steven casts a spell at the creature, stopping it again, but says it's too powerful. It begins to break down the trap as his wound keeps festering. He then apologizes to America, telling her, "This is the only way." As he begins to suck the power out of her, Strange believes she can't handle her powers, but he can. She's scared and angry. Strange is trying to kill her, and she says she thought they were friends. He explains that in the grand scheme of things, her death is a worthy sacrifice. But before he can finish, Strange is stabbed again by the creature, this time through the chest. He's dead and captured. It's over. Then America gets very angry and conjures up a huge star-shaped field of power behind her that seems to slow the monster down. The dying Strange then, with his last breath, frees her from the monster's grasp, only to wake up back in bed in New York. Now, it's our Strange. It was all a dream. So before we read the rest of the description, let's talk about just that one part right there. Like they said, we have seen that in the trailers, and it's all been in bits and pieces. Cyttorak, the Crimson Bands of Cyttorak is what we have seen in the films, or at least what people think it is. And that seems to be a moment that everybody kind of thought was early on in the film, because it does have Defender Strange in there, and it looks like Defender Strange dies early on as well, and that seems to be confirmed from these first 20 minutes here. There are pieces, such as what I believe is the Book of Ashanti, to be something that they're trying to get to, as possibly that could be the answer of power to solve what's ever going on in this multiverse, as I believe it's Wanda who's sending these monsters to try to capture America Chavez. But I also think this gives us a deeper look into the Defender Doctor Strange that we know him as, and his mindset as a variant. He seems to be someone who cares nothing about what he has to do to get power to protect the multiverse, but he's going to do it by any means necessary, which is honestly a strange trait that goes throughout the multiverse, but I think they have it at different levels, and this guy seems to go all in on it, willing to make a sacrifice, killing America Chavez, who considered him to be a friend and considered him to be someone that she trusted, in order to save the multiverse, which honestly, you can't blame him, right? But further on in the movie, I think this will kind of dive into the relationship between our Doctor Strange and America Chavez, because regardless, even though she knows that this is a variant Strange, she will still probably likely have some trust issues with our Doctor Strange based on another Doctor Strange trying to kill her. Some crazy shit that's being set up in just the first few minutes of this film. But let's dive into what comes on after Doctor Strange wakes up in New York. It goes on to say Strange gets dressed and heads to a wedding. A few people there seem uncomfortable that he's there, but Michael Stahlberg's character, Nicodemus West from the first Doctor Strange, is there to greet him. The duo talk, and we find out that they're both blip. In that time, Dr. West lost his cats and brother, and he wonders if there were any other way. Strange explains that there wasn't. He then goes on to say, Dr. West says, the best surgeon and the best hero, but you couldn't get the girl. Yo, and by the way, West was always a hater, and he still is, even after getting blipped. But it's revealed that the wedding is of Christine Palmer, as she begins to walk down the aisle. After the ceremony, Strange is standing by the bar, drinking a martini, and Christine comes up, and she says it would never have worked out anyway. They just both want each other to be happy, while Christine actually is. Strange lies and says that he is too. Now, just a quick break there. I think that is another type of tie-in that will go deeper into this movie as to when he comes across another Christine Palmer, who I think will be Night Nurse, how he can maybe try to treat her a bit differently than how he treated the Palmer in our universe, but also as well, it could spark an interest for him to find a love interest, and I think that could come in the form of Clea, who is rumored to have a big role in this movie. It then goes on to say that there is then a noise in the street. Everybody runs outside, and it's obvious that something bad is happening. Strange then jumps off the balcony, changing into his suit mid-flight, and flies down to the commotion. Something invisible is smashing up a bus, and Strange reveals that it is a massive interdimensional octopus gargantuan, and it goes after the same girl from his dream, who he recognizes trying to flee the chaos. What follows is a massively awesome set piece where Strange, his cape, and Wong all combine to save America and defeat the beast. Some highlights along the way are that patented Sam Raimi POV shots, even from the perspective of the monster, as well as a gruesome, excellent way the monster is defeated. It is a very satisfying sequence. After the battle, America tries to get away, but the two sorcerers stop her. They sit down at a pizza place and she explains why she was being chased by the monster, that it wants her power to travel across the multiverse. They don't believe her until she takes them to the body of the other Doctor Strange. They then realize that they need to keep this girl safe, but she's worried. Wong and Strange realize that these demons and monsters are the product of witchcraft, not magic. Wanda asks him if he knows anyone of that kind of experience, and of course, Strange does. Yep, it's time for Wanda Maximoff. We see her in her home, making food with her kids, tucking them in at night. A WandaVision music plays in the background. She seems very happy, but then we realize she too is dreaming, like Strange was. She's actually alone in bed in a quiet bedroom. Strange shows up in Wanda's farm. She thinks he's there to admonish her for what happened in Westview, but explains he needs to know about the multiverse. He tells her there about America and asks if Wanda will go back with him to Carmitage. He said he could use an Avenger, and this might get her back on the lunchbox. And yo, that is the biggest bomb that came out of those first 20 minutes, that they're going to be quick to go find Wanda and to see if she has anything to do with this, and are going to ask for her help. Now, it could be interesting because this could come with a double-edged sword to where this could conform Wanda to end up being the villain, and I think that is something that they're really still trying to hide, but I'm putting my money on it. Like, anybody wants to bet, holla at your boy, that Wanda is going to be the main villain in this film. And they could reveal a solution for Wanda to get her kids from the multiverse. Like, yo, if Strange explains that he's had dreams and that they actually happen throughout the multiverse, and now they're coming into our reality, that could trigger something in Wanda to say, hey, if I'm having dreams about my kid in another reality, I too can maybe capture America Chavez and take her powers to go get my kids and bring them to my reality to make me happy. Something that can trigger her to become a villain in this movie. And I think that's absolutely epic and something that I would love to see happen. But yo, all of that was dropped on the CinemaCon stage was crazy, and best believe we're going to be making more videos, especially Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, as the premiere date is like what, next week? Like, I'll be in theaters next week at this time watching that movie. I'm getting hella hyped. Like I said, beware of spoilers online. Watch out for those. And I hope you all have a great and nerdy day. Go somewhere, make a normie, and turn them into a nerd. Let me know what you think in the comments below about everything we talked about, and I'll see y'all in the next video.